couple of people said something to me. My sons can't stop saying about how different I am now. Nothing rattles my cage anymore, he says. I actually have a better relationship with my son now because of it. I don't get uptight as much as I do anymore, and he can see that, and he sees what I'm doing, and he uses that as an example, and he knows that it's not all bad, and that if I do certain things, then I too can manage my anxiety, because he has anxiety issues. Yeah. So I've seen improvement in him, and he's seen improvement in me, and we're stronger for it. It's great. So what made me come to the Brain Wellness Spa? I spoke to my brother, and he could not speak highly enough about the Brain Wellness Spa. So I tried everything else, and I thought, well, I'll give this a go, and it was the best thing I ever did. Suffering from anxiety, so acute anxiety and also depression. I was not in a good state when I came in here. Well, my journey before I came here was a very long journey, so over a number of years. So it started in 2012, and went through a few jobs and tried a few different things, and spent a lot of money as well, and nothing really effective. Come here, and it's changed my life, absolutely. It's literally, I walked out the door and I felt different. I felt so much better. I just felt more at peace when I left here. I noticed my mind was very quiet, and I haven't had a quiet mind ever in my life. So it was a big thing for me. So it took me a bit of time to get home and absorb how I was feeling, really. Yeah, it was great. So the way I was acting and the way I was processing things, it didn't take too long to happen too. So my wife noticed something inside 2 weeks, and she was wondering what they'd done to me here. And I couldn't explain it well enough for her at the time, but I just felt so quiet and at peace. And I always considered what people said to me before I answered. That was the biggest change she noticed in me, and that was what I noticed too. It's hard to explain. It feels natural. It doesn't feel like I'm trying, but I always consider what's coming in, and I take time to process it, and then I respond. And I always respond in a way that is very neutral and without judgment. So anxiety was affecting my life quite heavily. I was at a point where I couldn't perform basic tasks at work. So I've been doing my work now for over 17 years. I know how to do it. I understand that now. Before, I couldn't even manage 2 tasks at the same time. Simple tasks that I've done for years, I couldn't do. And it affected me deeply, because I wondered what's going on with me now. It was affecting my relationships with my wife, my kids, work colleagues. Every single relationship I held was being affected deeply. My relationships were being affected in a way that I couldn't communicate properly. I felt very disconnected from people. I didn't have really any emotional sort of connection. I felt very distant, and I didn't want to socialise, just generally. So I felt very withdrawn, very alone. Yeah, a lot of people asked me to go out and do a lot of things, and I said no, all the time. Yeah, so I felt very, like a bit of a hermit, actually, yeah. I was always alone in the house, or I was in bed a lot, sleeping. So today, my life's changed a lot. I'm always motivated. I always wake up feeling good and positive. I never sleep during the day like I used to. I'm always conversant with everybody. I am always positive. I'm always trying to do things. My mind's always going in a way that's good for me, not against me, which is a good thing. I'm more motivated at work. I'm more confident in myself, so that confidence comes out when I talk to people and whoever I deal with. Yeah. I feel great. I feel so great that things have changed, and that confidence and the way I feel now is just, I can't believe I didn't do it sooner. And I've already had 2 friends come, and they've seen huge changes as well. So I thought maybe it was just me, but it's definitely not. So what happens in the session? Okay, so I sit down, it's very relaxed and very quiet, very comforting, calm, and I speak to the facilitator across from me, and we talk about what's happened in the week, how I'm feeling, and we go through a few things to see where I'm at, and then I sit back in my chair. It's a huge, big chair, very wide, very comfortable. I love it. I wish I had one at home. And we go through whatever session that I am due to go through. Put our headphones on, and they run the audio through the headphones. And I always fall asleep. So it's good that you fall asleep. I fall asleep and I wake up feeling like I've just slept the whole night, but I feel rested. And by the time I've got downstairs after the session, after we speak again, I feel great. I feel light on my feet. My brain's quiet as always. It's great. So before I came in here, yeah, I was very skeptical. Absolutely, I was skeptical. I was very cynical by nature. So I had a huge amount of doubt coming in here, wondering what sort of hoodoo they were going to do on me. And that changed on the first time I came here. And when I walked out, I didn't think that anymore. I could not believe the level of change that happened so quickly. So I was instantly, I'm coming again. And there's no way I was not going to miss a session. Yeah, it was fantastic. I've seen huge changes, other changes besides the anxiety that I don't have anymore. Absolutely no anxiety whatsoever. I don't judge people anymore. I was very judgmental about people, and I always would make up a story in my head. I don't have negative stories creating in my head anymore about things that could happen but won't happen. I just don't have that anymore. I have an open view on everything I see and every person I meet and everything that I see going on around me, and it's changed how I actually go about my day. Also, I've become more confident in myself. It's a weird confidence because it's not a cocky kind of confidence. It's just a self-confidence that I should have already, and I love it. It's great. What do I get out of the Brain Wellness Bar? In a nutshell, I think what's happened is my brain has been reset to where it should be. What I've gotten out of that is a complete different view on everything I touch, see, feel, and speak with. And it's created a whole new outlook on my life that I've never had before. At my age, it's a life-changing experience that I recommend everybody does. I can't speak highly enough about the depth of change that's happened in my life and the relationships I've now strengthened because of it. Yeah, it's been fantastic. Being at my wit's end, yes, and that very last knot in the rope, as I used to think, and now not having that. There's a saying that goes around from a movie, there is no spoon, and I literally don't even consider me hanging on to anything now. I feel like I'm prepping myself up. So I hold other people up now, and it's almost like it never happened. It almost feels like a dream. The last 40 years of my life feel like a dream. It's really weird. A bad dream, actually. And now I've come out of my dream, I'm awake, and feel like a completely different person. Before, in the bad dream, yeah, I felt like I had no control whatsoever, and I felt like I was on a really bad ride, that I was just a passenger. And I tried everything not to be a passenger, to be a driver, but nothing worked. And Brain Wellness has worked. People always go for a holiday. When they're feeling the stress and the anxiety of life and work and family, and they want to get away from it all, that's exactly what they do. They escape. And they go for a holiday, but it's back here when they're waiting for them when they come back. If you prioritise your mental health and use Brain Wellness as your number one go-to for your mental health, it's a fantastic foundation for everything else. If you can change your unconscious part of yourself first, everything else will just flow afterwards. And you won't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars going to psychologists. Not saying they aren't in their part, they don't do well, but holidays have their place, and if you're not in a good mental state, you can't enjoy a holiday. So yeah, mental health first is definitely important. Men's mental health, especially in the industry I work in mining mostly, is still not where it should be. It's not really spoken about freely. There's still a huge stigma that goes against mental health for guys. And once coming to Brain Wellness, I realised that that mental health is a very important thing for everybody. We exercise our muscles, so we should exercise our brain muscle too, and mental health is how we do it. And men especially are a huge risk for mental health issues. And speaking to any man out there, they need to stop with the stigma and put it aside and look at themselves in the mirror and ask themselves, are you okay? And if you're not, deep down, if you ask yourself deep down you're not, then you need to come in here and you need to take some action and not just sit there and keep battling against it, because nothing will change. The biggest thing I've noticed is when I'm in a stressful situation now, and I have been a few times now, I just don't feel it. It's the weirdest thing. I don't feel stressed anymore. I feel a focused motivation. I call it a focused motivation. Instead, I know that I have to get something done by a certain time, and there's a lot to do, but for some reason I feel okay. I never used to. So I can get that done. That's all right. I'll get there. Yeah. The best way to describe my mindset change is black and white. It used to be black, now it's white. It's completely 180. It's not 360, it's 180. And it is so far different from what it was before. It can't be any more whiter than it was black. Yeah, it's crazy. I love it.